Hey, this is the Chapter 3 review quiz. And it shouldn't take very long. It'll be even better with a sharpened pencil. So here we go. B minus 6 equals negative 11. Of course, we add 6 to both sides, which will give us B on this side. Negative 11 plus 6 leaves us with negative 5. Subtract. Keep the sign of the larger absolute value, which is the negative in this case. Over here, I have to subtract 15 from both sides. Leaves me with Q on the right-hand side. 8 minus 15 is not 7. Remember, I do subtract them to get 7, but I keep the sign of the larger absolute value, in this case, the negative. Number 3, I'm going to subtract 4 1/3 from both sides. That leaves me with X. And then I have negative 2 5/6 minus 4 1/3. So let's go total fraction here. Negative 17 over 6 minus 13 over 3. I need common denominator, which would be 6. So now I have negative 17 over 6 minus 26 over 6. Same sign. So I add and keep. 17 and 26 is 43. So I would have, I'll let you finish that up. Remember, it is going to be negative, because add and keep, and it is going to be over 6. And I already said the answer, but I didn't write it down, so that is on you. Number 4, I do have to, now, I was adding, so what do? I subtract negative 2/5. Well, remember, subtracting a negative is the same as adding. Subtracting a negative, you take those two minuses and make it a plus. So I have plus 2.5, plus 2.5, and W equals whatever this is. Okay, 2 positive, so you're just adding these two numbers. Remember to bring the decimal down. 3 7/10 plus 2 5/10 will give you the answer for number 4. For number 5, I was dividing by negative 5, so I multiply by negative 5. Multiply by negative 5. Boy, earlier in the year, a lot of kids tried to add that 5 to both sides, and that just doesn't work. I get N equals whatever negative 5 times 7 is, that's what goes right here. I know you know that. Remember, negative, because one of each gives us a negative when we multiply and divide. Here, I was multiplying by negative 2, so I divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. This will give me P on this side. And over here, I have 4/11 divided by negative 2, which is really negative 2 over 1. Well, I don't divide with fractions. I keep the first one, I change it to multiplication, and I invert the second one. Now I can multiply across the top, across the bottom, but before I do, I can simplify here. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 times 1, 11 times 1. Now don't forget, I had one of each, so that makes my answer a negative. Put that right over here, and you've got that answer. I didn't mean to do so much of that one for you. These are two-step equations, and we did not just review that. We did not just review that, so I will walk through these whole problems with you. First thing you're going to do is subtract 3 from both sides. These cancel, leaving you with negative 7z equals 14. Well, now you divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7. Those cancel out, leaving you with z equals 14 divided by 7 is 2, and one of each gives us a negative when we're dividing. Z equals negative 2. Over here, first thing I have to do is add 1/2, add 1/2. Those cancel, leaves me with A over 6 equals 1/3 plus 1/2. I need a common denominator, so that would be a 6. 3 times 2 is 6, so 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6, so 3 times 1 is 3. I get 5/6. Well, now I have to multiply each side by 6, so times 6 times 6, and I get A equals 5/6 times 6, which is 6 over 1. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 6 once, and I get 5 over 1, which just equals 5. A equals 5. So hopefully those were easy, because I did the whole thing for you. Number 9. 3 less than a number h is negative 12. Well, remember, 3 less than a number h is not 3 minus h. It's h minus 3. Is means equal, and negative 12 means negative 12. Do not solve these. That is the answer, and that's supposed to be an h. Here, it says sum, which means you're going to take this plus this equals this. Don't solve it. Just write down what I just said. Here it says product. Remember, that means we're multiplying. So you're going to show negative 3/4 times x is means equals negative 27. Just write that math problem down and you're all done with that one. And here quotient means division. So you're going to have m divided by negative 3/2 is means equals 15. And that's all you have to do for that one is write that down. You'll see that. Awesome. Well, that's the end quiz. I hope it wasn't too tough for you. I actually did more of those answers than I meant to for you. You're welcome. Have an awesome day.